I'm back. What up? What up? It's your boy, 410 Josh. I'm back. Before I start, I want to first thank everybody for their texts and prayers and concerns last week. I came down with a bad case of the flu, and I was down pretty bad. I was pretty much out of commission for a whole week. So that's why I haven't been able to get with y'all, for those that don't know. Pretty much from the time I started this podcast up until last week, I've been consistent with y'all as far as dropping content. My Mondays for the hot topics, Thursdays for the throwback Thursdays, Fridays for the album releases and reviews. But last week, man, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was down bad. You probably can hear my voice. I'm still a little stuffy, but I feel 98% better. Well enough to come see y'all and chop it up with y'all. So I want to first say thank you to all my supporters, my subscribers for checking in on me. Those that I seen shared my videos and my content while I was out, taking care of my health. I do want to say to y'all, outside of this, hip hop, COVID and the flu, this is the season for it, and it's come back around, and it's coming back serious. So, if put y'all masks back on, man. Get y'all masks, y'all gloves, whatever y'all need to keep yourself healthy and safe, because, man, what's going around is really, really, knocking some people down. So, it knocked me down to the point, I didn't even have my voice for 4 days. So, so again, I appreciate y'all for coming in, checking on me, texting me, sharing my videos, going back and reviewing all my previous content. And so now I'm back here again to bring y'all up to speed and up to date with what's going on with hip hop. Thanks, kid. Appreciate you, man. So I'm gonna jump right into it, and we're going to some of the hot topics, some things that I'm excited to talk about, that I wanted to talk about on that day, but everybody, y'all know what happened. So December was a really great month for album anniversaries. We got 4 albums between 2 legends that dropped in December, and the first one we're going to start is none other than the God MC, God's son, the legendary Nas. So Nas had 2 albums. The first one that dropped was Stillmatic. It's on December 18th in 2001. That was the 22nd anniversary of Stillmatic. If you go back and you remember, Stillmatic was like Nas's comeback album, because the 2 previous albums for that, Nostradamus and I Am, they sold well, but as far as the reception, he caught a lot of backlash for trying to do or go after making radio records. And but the albums were good, but Stillmatic was like his comeback. It's him coming back full circle. Plus, he was dealing with the battle with Jay-Z, which before he dropped the monstrous legendary Ether, Hov dropped that Takeover, and that kind of put Nas on the ropes for a little bit. So it was the 22nd anniversary of Stillmatic. Classic album. Got 5 mics in the Source when the Source was the hip hop Bible for where you go to review music, and you knew an album was dope. Everybody looked at the Source for that, for those 5 mics. Top to bottom, Stillmatic was just a classic. It's not even a debate. I mean, the intro, the Stillmatic intro, Blood of a Slave, Heart of a King, Ether. I don't even say arguably, it is the greatest diss record of all time. I think I spoke about this in another post. I did a video. I said Ether is the bar in which how you measure diss records as far as hip hop. So, I mean, and then you had songs like Second Childhood, Got Yourself a Gun, You're the Man, Every Ghetto, The Flyest. It was just like everything about Stillmatic was just Nas coming full circle and reminding us why he's Nas. So if you haven't checked it out, or it's been a while since you listened to that, I would, suggest you go back and listen to Stillmatic, because Nas is, he consistently, stays on top of his pen game. The second album Nas had in December was Godson. And that dropped December 13, 2002, and that's the 21st anniversary, which was a year after Stillmatic. Godson was another one of those, and I say it's an unsung classic because it's not as praised as like It Was Written or Stillmatic or Illmatic, but he lyrically he was on that level, some of the most creative music that he had ever written. And that was one of those sentimental albums that he made because he had, at the time, had lost his mother, God rest her soul. Godson was another masterpiece for Nas. I mean, he had Get Down, the first track with the James Brown sample. He had Made You Look. I kind of wish he did put the remix on there as well as the original, but original still was a classic. He had Book of Rhymes, Mastermind, Warrior Song, Dance, Heaven Was a Mile Away, I Know I Can, Hey Nas. It was so many records on there that Nas just branched himself out even more and showed us why he's, crowned arguably the greatest lyricist of all time. So again, if you haven't gone back and listened to Godson, I would suggest you go back and listen to it because his pen game was just immaculate. Second artist, another legend, icon we lost too soon, the late and great DMX. He had his album, the 25th anniversary of Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood, which dropped in December 22nd of 1998. I remember being in high school when this album had dropped, and we were still off of the high of the first one, It's Dark and Hell Is Hot. So when he came with Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood, it was like, wait a minute, this dude he's trying to get on the level of Nas, Jay, Biggie, Pac. That's kind of how we started to look at DMX, because he was the first artist to drop 2 multi-platinum albums in 1 year, and they both were monstrous classic albums. Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood, some of the most heartfelt music you will ever hear. Slipping, I don't even think I need to say too much about that. That's one of those songs that I don't care. You don't gotta be a street nigga. You don't gotta, if you haven't been through something in life, you listen to Slipping and know that, like the chord says, slip and fall and I can't get up. Get me back on my feet so I can tear shit up. It's like if you've been through any real life situation, Slipping is, is the soundtrack of your life. So many other songs. We Don't Give a Fuck with Styles P. That first bar of that song is like one of the greatest bars and one of the best sayings I even live by, when he said, when it rains, niggas get wet, stay dry, don't cross me, I can peep the snake eye. I didn't even need to hear the rest of the song once I heard that, because that one bar for me was like, okay, I get it. I get it. This is what I live by. You had Keep Your Shit the Hardest, Blackout, uh, Dogs for Life, Omen, Ready to Meet 'Em, Damien 2. Uh, the whole album was like it was really it became a very hard debate of whether is Dark and Hell is Hot or Flesh of My Flesh was the actual record. Um, was the actual better album. So it's like, man, X really came through with that one. So if you haven't gone back and listened to it, I would suggest you go listen to that one. And then the second album he dropped in December, which was 24th anniversary, following Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood was, and then there was X. This was probably his biggest album because he had some of his biggest radio songs, but then he also gave you some of his rawest songs ever. I really love this album. I would say it's a classic. He had Here We Go Again, One More Road to Cross, Get That Money, What's My Name, More to a Song, DXL. It's so Party Up. I'm not gonna lie. When Party Up first came out, I really didn't like it. I just couldn't get with it. But over time, it grew on me. But it like that did the whole album. Just as a body of work was just it. Like it's dark. And then there was X. And it's crazy to go back and look at these albums because I'm like, damn, I remember when these albums dropped and where I was, So to see that we celebrating the 24th anniversary, 25th anniversary of X albums, is an amazing thing. I just wish he was here to really see and know the impact that he had, especially being this is the 50th year of hip hop. So long live DMX, man. One of my top 10 artists of all time. So I'm going to get into some of the big headlines. Kanye has issued an apology to the Jewish community for what is considered to be the hate speech and things that he said that were very crude and visceral and hurtful to them. The wild thing about his apology that it was written in Hebrew, and of course, social media was able to translate it. But I feel like with Kanye, I think he's realized him saying the things that he said did not help him in the least bit. It's made it hard for him to do business as far as music and media, which he is somebody who's a public figure and you need them to. If you're going to be an entertainer and you need to promote your products, whether it's, music, clothes, or, cars, whatever it is. So I think I feel like Kanye is apologizing because it's gotten too hard for him to maneuver. And I don't think he has too many avenues left to go on unless he's just going to do it on his own, which is showing that it's been kind of hard because it's been hard for him to shop around him and Ty Dolla's album, the Vultures album. So it's like, they accept his apology, that's cool, but at the same time, it's like we know Kanye, you done this before, bro. So we know it's gotten hard for you, and so. You just got to take it for what it is. Dame Dash is back in the news doing some interviews. He said that he was taking Rockefeller back. He's the CEO of Rockefeller, even though he sold it, him, Big sold it, and they got, they split the money three ways when they sold it. He feels as though he is the CEO of Rockefeller. He feels as though he's taking Rockefeller back because Rockefeller seemed to die after they sold it because Jay-Z didn't keep it going too much longer because he started Roc Nation. He's also made some accusations about Jay, stealing certain records or jumping on certain records when the artist is hot or the song starts to heat up, and then the song kind of becomes his. I don't agree with that part. I think Jay is just one of those artists, like, he kind of takes the, traditional music business approach as far as waiting to see an artist, gain their buzz and then jump in and say, okay, now I've seen you pay your dues, I'm going to, co-sign you. I definitely don't agree with the biting because Jay got so many original lyrics. If you took a percentage of the lyrics that he actually has recycled from other artists, it's probably like less than 5%, maybe 5%, but 95% ratio of original content is not a bad thing, especially when you got like a 25, going on 30 plus year career of your own catalog, writing for artists, doing features, mixtapes, and all of that. So, but Dame, getting back Rockefeller, I hope he does bring it back. Hope he does, takes it in a different direction and, something transpired from it because Dame is a visionary and, he has a lot of, he has a lot of great ideas that he can, make happen, and especially in this era, especially the digital era, and new artists is coming out. So we'll see what happens with that. 50 and Fat Joe was courtside at the Knicks game on Christmas when they played the Bucks and the Knicks won. I'm glad to see 50 and Fat Joe squash their beef because that beef would have got ugly. Everybody know how real, 50 is, but everybody knows how real Fat Joe is. And they both, Tony Ayo, I think, did an interview on Vlad talking about, if we would have really crossed paths with Fat Joe and them dudes from the Bronx, it would have got ugly. Because Pistol Pete, if you don't know, it's one of Fat Joe's closest friends. That dude, he's a real OG, real gangster, one of the most feared gangsters at one point. I'm glad to see 50 and Fat Joe work out their differences because that beef really wasn't I don't think it was a real beef because it wasn't no bloodshed and nobody really did anything to anybody. It was more like, Fat Joe did the record with Jive, 50 felt a certain way, and now, at that point, anybody that stood next to Jive, 50 just went on the warpath and went after everybody. So that's a good look. So hopefully, maybe one day, I don't even think Jive and 50 ever, sit down, but it would be good at this point. Future Metro Boomin, they got an album coming. Future tweeted out him and Metro in the studio cooking up, working on some music, but they don't have a release date. So we'll see when that comes. I just know, Future and Metro Boomin get together. They're coming with some fire. Everybody know what he's done for him as far as Dirty Sprite 2 and 56 Nights and March Madness and all that. So, we'll see. Future he had, his last album was pretty good. But I think when he really in his bag when he works with Metro Boomin, Southside, Zaytoven, and everybody. So, we'll be on the lookout for that. OG legendary Bay Area rapper, Rappin' Forte, been released from the hospital. He had a brief hospital stay over the Christmas holiday. Unspecified illness. Probably wants to keep it private, but Rappin' Forte is a legend from the Bay Area. He had one of his actually his second album. It's called Off Parole. Was actually one of my first hip hop albums in my first little collection. So if you haven't checked out Rapping Forte, check it out. He makes kind of like he kind of reminds me of like Too Short. Um, he does like pimp type music, like Too Short, Sugar T, not Sugar T, Sugar Free. Um, so if you into that, check him out. But peace and blessings to Rapping Forte. Get well soon, man. Last one, new and upcoming drill rapper Tay Savage has a documentary on Trap Lord Ross's channel. Trap Lord Ross actually did this documentary on Tay Savage called Trigger Happy Tay. Everybody knows Trap Lord Ross. If you don't know, he does a lot of drill rap documentaries. Most famously, he did the King Von's serial killer documentary. I'm going to say this about Trap Lord Ross. Whether you like his content or not, the one thing you can't take from him, he is excellent at what he does. His documentaries are like 60-minute news for the streets. Like, he keeps you engaged and into what he's talking about, and the way that it's put together and narrated, he really should get some type of award. I'm gonna actually try to reach out to him, but he, like, Trap Lord Ross really. I watched this documentary. It's a little over about 2.5 hours. And I can honestly say, whether you agree with the content or not, whether it's true or not, the way he put it together is very, very, very good. Very intriguing and very interesting. Tay Savage, if you do your homework on him, I mean, he's always been revered and respected as one of them dudes that Von, Melly, T-Roy, all of them, they looked up to him before they became who they were. So it's kind of like, I heard the analogy, and it's kind of wicked, but it kind of is fitting. Like, if you looked at drill culture as a sport, Tay Savage was looked at as Jordan. Vaughn was looked at as LeBron. Melly was looked at as KD, and T-Roy was looked at as Steph Curry. So it's like, even though they were the legends and the greats for where they were and what they do, now it's like Tay Savage was Jordan, and they all looked up to him before they became who they were. So what I would just suggest is, if you do watch the documentary, just watch it for how it's well put together. I can't personally tell you whether this stuff is true or not, because I'm not from Chicago, even though I follow a lot of the drill music and things. I don't want to speak on like people catching, murder cases and all this other stuff, but just the way that he puts together these documentaries based off of what's said on the internet and news clippings and things, you got to give Trap Lord Ross his props, man, because he puts a lot of time and effort and thought to what he does. So that's so that would be that on him. So I'm gonna hop in the chat because I haven't seen y'all in a while. So I'm glad that everybody is coming in. Key Watts, thanks, babe, for coming through. Appreciate you. I'm feeling better. Yeah, Sherry, love you too. Thank you. Appreciate you. A long-time friend. Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate being a soldier. I feel like that myself, but it's like, I just, count my blessings. My cousin Eric, thanks for coming through, cuz. Appreciate it. Fanique White, thank you, love, for coming through. Appreciate you coming through. My man Quan Newark, what's good, bro? Thank you for coming through. My cousin Chanel, appreciate you coming through. My man Yanis Ocean G, appreciate you coming through, bro. So, let's see who else in here. Marsha Jackson, thanks for watching. Appreciate you coming in. So I'm back. I'm feeling a lot better. So I will be back Thursday to do the Throwback Thursday edition. The 2 classic albums, one for the females, one for the males. Talk about the history of the album, cultural impact, personal impact, and where they are now. And then Friday will be the last episode of the year before we start the new year. So that's gonna be the grand show. I'm gonna go. Hold on a second. So what's up with this FBG Duck trial? All right, cuz. So what's going on with Duck trial is, from what I read today, is all 5 of the O Block 5, they all got offered plea deals and they all turned them down. You probably heard, everybody from Trenches News, FBG Butter, a lot of people, took the stand and testified against them. So I'll be honest with you, I don't think they're going to beat this one. And the fact that they were offered plea deals and none of them took it, I think they didn't take it because it's like, if one takes the deal, then all got to take the deal. So rather than just, try to fight the case, separately, they just, I guess, going to band together as brothers and see it to the end. But I'm going to be honest with you, because they not getting out of this one. It's pretty much a wrap for all of them. With all the evidence, turning down the plea deal, the feds is on it, informants testified, people took the stand. It's pretty much a wrap. So, like I said, Thursday going to be the Throwback Thursday album edition. And then Friday, I'm going to be with the reviews, releases, and I'm going to do my top 10 songs of the year, top 10 albums of the year. So we're going to, spend some time with that. Let me see, what was the plea deal? They each was offered 50 years. So pretty much that's kind of like a life sentence for all of them, because all of them in their 20s I think all of them pretty much in their 20s. I don't even think nobody's 30. If they are, they know more than 30. So they all got offered like 50 years. So, I don't know. Because considering that initially when it started, there was no plea on the table. They was either facing a life sentence or the death penalty. Now they each got offered 50 years. Sheena saying, I haven't really heard too much. I did see a couple. I seen a couple clips where they said that her and Muwap's mother had gotten to a fight in the courtroom, or they got into like a big shouting match and they had to be separated and put out the court. So you know how that go. But I don't know. This is just, that's a sad situation, because so many people's lives got affected, and Duck lost his life, and then all of O Block 5 lost their life, and then Vaughn lost his life, and if he was alive, he would have been the face of this case. So this is a sad situation. This is like one of the worst domino effects I've ever seen in life. But thank y'all for coming out. Again, appreciate all my supporters for y'all patience and support. I'm back on track. I will see y'all Thursday for the Throwback Thursday edition. Peace.